welcome. Why am I here already? Where's the intro, the unboxing, the slideshow, the produced track? We've done all this because we're looking at the Beebo. Beebo. Poly is the company from the Australias, and Beebo is the pedal, and it looks like so. And it's pretty empty. It says empty. Now, Loki Davison is a crazy motherfucking genius who is just the sound design master. And this is a company of two people, as far as I understand. Him and his crazy ideas, and someone helping him build these and get them out the door. So this is, if you buy this for under $500, I think in Europe it's 450, something like this. This is supporting a super creative little company. If you are someone who wants to scroll through presets, this is not the pedal for you. If you're someone who wants it easy and just play guitar, this is not the pedal for you. And you'll see why in a second. Because it doesn't make it easy. Again, presets, I mean, I can go to presets here. I can go here, load a preset. And there are a bunch, and that's about it. There can be thousands, millions, because this thing has over 250 by now or something like this, different modules. What's a module? Yeah. So let's roll back. We've already reviewed this. I want to go into some of the new stuff, but I'll tell you anyway. See it as a modular effects box. Now, you can already see on top here, we have input 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Output 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So these can be stereo cables, meaning it has 4 different inputs, 4 different outputs. As you can see right here, this is the input section, this is the output section, and M stands for MIDI. You could use this not for audio at all. You could use this to do these things to MIDI signals if you wanted to, which I did in my original review where I'm changing drives on a Chase Bliss pedal. That's possible. You could use this with control voltage stuff to do things on your Eurorack, which synthesizer stuff, which they realized, and that's why they created this as Hector, not Beebo, in a Eurorack version, which I also have, gave to my friend Stefan, who has a brilliant Eurorack, and he is now spending a few months with it, trying to learn it and showing us how he can use it for progressive metal and rock leads. Not bleepy bloops, but, you know, for his thing. And I think that one even has 6 inputs and 8 outputs or something like this. Crazy. 4 inputs, 4 outputs, MIDI in out, and the ins and outs can also be control voltage. You get that. Now they added amp profiling. I'm gonna warn you, you're gonna say, but it doesn't have this and it can't even... It's a very simple profiling where you pretty much have a setting and that's it, because it is based on open source, and I think it is neutral, I don't know. There's an open source profiler, which Loki, that's also a good show, I had to incorporate it in this, and there's also convolution IR reverbs, which means actually measuring reverbs, and then you can put your signal into that measured room. Years ago, convolution reverb was thousands. Now you can get it in a freaking pedal. And he updated it to have more intuitive visuals. So for very simple, I'm just going to go click plus. Most of the things, you know, it's empty. You have to generate your own stuff unless you want to play with a couple of these presets. Obviously, online, there's tons of them. And in the back, oh, by the way, there's MIDI, and there's also USB-A over here for updates and possibly getting IRs on there, profiles on there, and other presets. This is a touchscreen. This thing goes fast, this thing goes slow, usually. You can do anything. These foot switches don't do shit until you tell them to. That's why I'm saying this is not for the faint of heart. This is for the people that want to do anything they want to do without Poly telling them how to do it. I mean, no, telling them, giving them I mean, that's wrong. They really tell you. I'll show you because there's QR codes. We'll get to that. What did I want to do? Oh, an amp. So I go to, these are the different types of effects. I'm going to amp. I'm going to go to amp nam, whatever that means. And it's right here. Right now, you wouldn't hear anything. That's where you come in with, you have to do your own thing because it's just a module. You're going to have to connect it. And I wish that was all you had to do. So if you click on it, you can now see different profiles. Again, I'm not super happy about this, that it's actually pictures of the amps because those companies worked really hard on marketing. I'm going to spare you my profile rant. I'm not a big proponent of doing this yet. Okay, here you can go. Do it. This is so far all that is in there. I'm sure there is more stuff you can download because this is open source. And I'm sure there's loads of them online. So let's say you want to have your SLO and eat it too. Huh, what? There's only a couple of settings profiled. Bright on off, overdrive on off, crunch on off. Overdrive knob in 3 different settings. There aren't knobs you can manipulate. So if you wanted high gain, we're going to go on, crunch on, bright is on, and then high. There you go. That's all you can do. Can't do EQ, can't actually dial in the gain, none of that. So right now I wouldn't hear anything. So I'll have to connect it. For this module, for the amp profiling thing, you'll see, you're gonna have to, you can't even see that there. Man, that's tiny. It blocks 74% of the processor. So you really can't build a complex amp and cap and stereo and convolution IR. It doesn't work. It's not powerful enough for that. So I'm going to hold input 1, which is where I'm plugged in, and click on this, and now it's connected because it only has 1 input. And to go direct out, I'm going to use output 1. You want to click this? And now it's going directly to output 1. Problem is, that's just the amp. There's no cap. So that's not going to sound good. So I'm going to disconnect that. So you hold the output. I had to figure that out. We're going to go add another module. Go back. Nope. Go back to amps and caps. There's a bit crusher, bit mangle, mono cap. That's what we want. We want it really simple. There is my mono cap. Going to connect that to that. Going to connect that to 1. Click on that. And we're going to go to Eminence Delta 412. Here, let's just pick that, okay? Now you pick the actual IR. What mic was that recorded with? Let's say this. Okay, fine. If you want to know about it, you click this. And then it's giving you a QR code. That is there for most modules. And that gets you to a video that Loki did himself on his YouTube channel explaining the module. So that is a brilliant way to get direct help, direct instruction on how to do it from the man who programmed it. I love that. So the thing is, if I go back here, and let's just say I want to change the mic. My issue is you click on it, and now it's going back to that page. Okay, well, then I have to click on this again. And now it changed the mic. That's not so bad, but let's say I'm going to the standard Marshall cap here. And I'm picking this one. And let's say I now want to just change the other mic. You go on this. Gotta go back down. That's a little bit annoying. But again, the Beebo is not something that'll get you really quickly to a result. It is complete freedom though, so that's the compromise you're making. What did I do? Oh, I made, let's do this. Here we go. Apparently I clicked on something. So I'm going to pull my output from the amp, because I'm also going into amps. I'm going to go out 1, 2. What did, oh, the Soldano through an orange cap. Okay. In mono right now. It's quite quiet. Can't change anything on the amp setting because there's no volume, no anything. So you have to do it on the cap. I'm pretty sure there's a community out there that shares loads of these. Right now, I'm noticing a little bit of latency, okay? So if you wanted a delay, we could do that. And the way we would do that is have it run in parallel. Let me show you, because I think I've got enough processing power for that. Go to time-based. Here's a delay. And we're putting this behind the mono cap. Oops. Now we wouldn't hear it. I also have to connect it to the output. And now it's going to be way too much. So I can hit level here. And the right knob, the right encoder will be fast. The left encoder is a fine encoder. Very nice, because on some of those parameters, you really want that because they're way too wide. Now, of course, you can't control the delay, and the foot switches don't do anything. So, this is showing you the difficulty. I'm going to add a utility, foot switch A, connected to delay, not BPM, I mean, you could, but we're going to do value out, to level. So, latching is on. So I can now switch between two different values. Let's say this value and, oops, a much lower value. And it is going to level. You already see, you have to think modular. Or not. There we go. Why is it on off -1? It shouldn't. So you create your own foot switch and what it does and where it goes. There's two more that you can do things with. There is a tuner module. And it looks glorious. And that's one of the things pre-programmed. Very precise. Nice. Now if I go back, well, I didn't save that, so it's gone. But I have saved something. So we're going to go to load a preset. So that's interesting. Let's put it that way. Let's see what I did here. I'm going into an amp, into a cap, into a delay, like we just did. Okay. But I'm also going into the warmth, which I'm taking out of output 3, which is going into my actual tube amp over there, I'm going to have a hum problem because there's a ground issue. But I'll still show you. So that's just the profile. And this would just be the tube amp. With some warmth in front of it. But let's go into a couple more of those profiles to give you an idea. Like, oh, that's the magnetone. Let's go, we've already done the Friedman. Let's go into the Dietzel. Channel 2, hi. Yeah. All there. Now, there are really cool things you can do. You could run your whole dry signal in parallel. Do you want to see how easy that would be? Well, I'm taking my input to right now going out of out 1, and I'm just sending it there. First of all, I'm getting rid of this. And that is going... So right now, my input is going to output 1. That's it. And I have the dry signal in there as well. Let's do that. How you would do one of those beautiful convolution reverbs. Empty preset. You add a convolution reverb. Can of course add a basic reverb, all that, but we want... I'm looking over there. I can look over there. Granular looping. I mean, there's a looper, a mono reverb, quad IR reverb. That's what we want. There it is. It's of course stereo, but we don't have to use stereo. So I'm hooking up 1 to the left input and the output back to 1 left out. That is actually incorrect. It's not what I want to do, because right now there's no amp. And for some reason I can't even hear it. Because nothing's loaded. So let's load this. So first of all, there's no amp. And secondly, it's only the reverb you're hearing. So let's go to my amp, which I'm going to plug into output 3. Going to disconnect this one. Going to go to output 3. Now we're going into the Tone King Royalist, but only with the wet signal. Because that's what that IR thing does. So you see there are no controls. I can pick a reverb with descriptions. There's a plate. Really cool stuff. Pool of the Black Star. Well, that sounds big. There's also classic PCMs, lexicons. So let's go to this. That sounds crazy. And then there's different captures of it. Let's do, I don't know, any of them. right? That's kind of cool. So how do I get my dry signal in there? Well, very simple. I connect my input 1 to 3 as well. And Bob's your uncle, you're done. But I have no mix. So let's say I just want a reverb mix. I'm going to have to build that. So I'm taking a VCA, voltage controlled amplifier. First of all, I'm disconnecting the quad reverb out. Once you understand these things, it's good, but you still have to understand what you're doing. Level and dynamics. Why am I looking over here? Auto swell is actually really cool. There's a mix VCA, but we are just doing it very simple. VCA, out left. That's going to 3. And now right here, this is going to be my reverb volume. Now, the cool thing is I could modulate that with an LFO, a low frequency oscillator that slowly takes that level up and down, essentially giving me a tremolo on the reverb tails. Let's see. This is the kind of thing that this inspires you to do. So thank you, Leslie. She's going to hit me for having to do that. We're going to go to control voltage generators. I'm going to look at there's ADSRs and all that stuff, envelope followers to dynamically react to your playing. Don't ask me what all that stuff does. Here's an LFO. And I'm going to connect this LFO to the VCA. And we're done. And now it technically takes my level up and down. There you go. Now, there isn't a depth control now. Sure, you could build that, but you would need another module in between. You see, everything that we usually have on effects are individual modules, but you can control them. Which means if you don't need that, don't do it. If you need it, put it in there. And of course, for that, it's getting pretty complicated now. We would need to go to, I don't even know, control voltage generators. Nope. No, I don't even know what that would be. I'm thinking it might actually be a level and dynamics thing. Don't nail me down. And I kind of know a little bit about this stuff. And you have to turn that one off. I don't know how to do it, but yeah, VCA, but no, we want a, I don't know. But that's what you would have to do to get a mix. You could also use a mix VCA, which actually takes both signals in, and then you can mix. Should we do that? Let's do that. I'm killing this. So that has 2 inputs. I think that's how it works. What do I do? Into in 1, and I'm taking 1 into in 2, taking this to 3. That is incorrect. Taking this to 3. There we go. And now there's a mix gain right there. There isn't an actual mix. It's a mixer where you have 2 things. So the in 1 level would be the reverb. that's how you would do that. Of course, you could control any of those parameters, or actually probably quite a few. Let's see. With the LFO, main gain or second gain, can't control all of them. But that way I can do exactly what I did earlier if I wanted that. Or I hit this and the trash can. See, what else do we have? We got... That's a hotel. Plate. Now you could of course use expression, which is control voltage, into an input, assign that to one of the possibilities are freaking endless. I built a few things earlier. Let me show you those. I kind of really had fun with that. It's a delay that's going through an auto swell, and I'm actually with the auto swell cutting off the actual delay repeat, so the delay just comes up. And then I put a filter there, which was just a static filter. So it's a low-pass filter, Jennifer low-pass. And in order for it to move, you would think with a filter you've got to build in LFO. No, not with the Beebo. You then add an LFO, which I did. So we have the standard delay right here. Nothing special. There are special ones. We've got this auto swell, and you can see I have the downtime at very, very low so that it actually just only cuts off the very beginning. And then there's my filter with quite a bit of resonance. And my dries going all the way through. So if I wanted to hear this better, I'm going to quickly build myself a mix with a VCA. I put the VCA in favorites. If you see, you can put your favorite modules there, so they're easier accessible. Oopsie. Come on, connect to the VCA. You need a little bit of a tinier finger. I could actually put my dry signal out of a different output. Wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, 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 wet, whatever you wanted to do. Audio, audio, CV, you can do that. Come on, go out of there. I'm doing you, I'm doing you, I'm doing you. There we go. So now, that's only the cool filter delay now. Possibilities, again, completely, endlessly crazy. You can do MIDI to anywhere, from anywhere, convert MIDI into something, use control voltage to do things, connect them in any way. But you can clearly see you have to be a little bit of a tinkerer and sound designer, because you have to understand, oh, if I'm connecting this from 1 to 1, I don't have any mix control. If I want mix control, I need to add that. If I want pan control, I need to add that. All the things that usually an algorithm gives us, you have to put together yourself. Now, don't think of it as algorithms. Think of it as individual elements of an algorithm, which of course gives you a sandbox. That's what that is. It just is blue, a blue sandbox. Let's go very quickly and just load whatever they put in here. Advanced rotary. And we could try to understand that. Let's see. I'm going into... We're not going to hear too much of that because we're going mono. It's the left, right. Stereo reverb is going into 1 and 3. It looks like the dry signal is on 2. I mean, we in their foot switches, doing fast and slow probably. Oh, I mean, look how it's so cool. On the rotary, there's a drum and a horn. There's different tabs. He puts so much love into these. Clicking up here, by the way, is difficult if you can't even. No, you can't. Yeah, yes, because the edge of the thing is a little bit in the way. So you have to have. Come on. Maybe ask your kids to click on it. But as a preset, what's the point? Because you're using 3 outputs. So you'd have to wire it up right. But it does sound pretty good out of output 3. Pretty sure that's only, I'm pretty sure there's a horn, a drum, and a dry. And again, going out mono out of 3, kind of pointless, maybe. Oh, that adds delays. The sounds are just there, and they are crazy. But I feel there should be a lot more presets with this thing, showcasing everything that it can do. And that's kind of reverb and cab, okay? Now there is a community that, of course, shares a lot of presets. Loki said he doesn't want to overwhelm people, but I think he should overwhelm you guys a little bit with just some examples of what's possible. Now, again, the big thing is the addition of profiles. You can't go nuts with amp cap and loads of effects. That's overloading it. And the convolution IR reverbs, which sound fantastic. But again, you can't just drop it in there. You're going to have to drop it in there, define where it goes, and make yourself a little bit of a mix. It is for the advanced effects programmer, I'm going to be honest. But for $450, you're getting yourself something that nobody else on the market has. He constantly adds to it. And on most of these things, you can scan the code and watch his video showing you everything about all the different parameters. By the way, you could also just easily turn each one on and off right there if you just wanted to mute it. I think this isn't for everyone, but for the people that want to learn about effects, for the people that want to think wiring, for the people that want to think modular, for the people that can't find the effect on the market that they want, they can probably create it in Beebo. So thanks to Paulie for, I hope, paying me to make this video. Loki's a great guy. It's a small company with ingenious people that do this for the love of it and also to make money. But I mean, there's a lot of passion behind it. The guy never sleeps. So check it out. And I'll put links below. And as always, we'll put animals at the end.